we are going to learn to how to destroy a film. This is a masterclass because I have never seen anything happen like this with any movie ever in my life. Ever. I've never seen it. So we're starting because we're talking about the film in question is Emilia Perez. Now, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people have been hearing the buzz around the movie, but and a lot of us have watched the movie, and we're gonna all have different thoughts on what we believe this movie. Uh, do we believe it even deserved to be here? But that's subjective. That's not objective. So the first step in ruining a movie is you got to make a mess of a movie, right? So I'm already showing my hand. Y'all already see how I feel about the movie. It's messy, like really, really messy. So, and as far as my review part of the movie, you can achieve making a mess of a movie by first and foremost make it a musical. Make it a musical with very forgettable songs. Like none of the songs move you in any way, and usually in a musical the song part of the movie is supposed to pull you in. It's supposed to make you feel some type of emotion. If the emotion that some of these songs was looking for was like repulsion, it did its job. It did its job. But if it was supposed to make me connect to the characters, I think maybe one song made me connect to the characters. And I don't remember enough about what was going on in that period of the movie to even tell you what the song was. It was a little kid singing it though. But anywho, we're also gonna set it in Mexico, but film it in France. Because I don't know. Well, we'll get to why the director made that choice a little bit later. It's part of another one of our steps. And we're going to also cast a relatively unknown actress, but do not vet her background. That's going to be important. You're going to see that come up a whole lot in today's presentation. You do not want to vet this person's background. And you want to offend Mexicans every chance you get. Because remember, you set the movie in Mexico, you film it in France, and now you want to offend Mexicans every chance you get. If you don't know what Emilia Perez was about, it's a musical and it's on Netflix. It's about a Mexican gangster played by Karla Sofia Gascon, who begins a new life by faking their death, and then they transitioned from a male to a female, and then they started a charity dedicated to finding the remains of victims of Mexico's cartel-related violence. Now, keep this in mind. The Mexican gangster is a cartel leader. So a lot of the victims of cartel-related violence is through it's through the Mexican gangster. But anyway, so we got our oops, I put that in the wrong spot. Well, since we were talking about musicals with very forgettable songs, I might as well present one of the songs to you right now. The song, This Is So Stupid, Do Better. You don't even know what I'm about to say, little um let's see. Oh, a little movie perp or whatever you say you are. If you don't know what I'm about to say, you can't call it stupid, boo. And I'm going to give you it because Moulin Rouge was a good movie. This one was not. So, case in point, we're going to talk about one of the songs, La Vaginoplastia. This is a song that was sung by Zoe Saldana and a doctor in this movie. And let's look at the lyrics, shall we? Hello, very nice to meet you. I'd like to know about sex change operation. I see. Man to woman or woman to man? Man to woman. From penis to vagina? From penis to vagina. Is it for you? For me? No. We don't have to go through it word by word. Look at the lyrics of this song. Now, even though I will say this, the movie is in Spanish. So if you speak Spanish, it might flow better. But if you are relying on the captions of the movie, this does not flow at all. Oh, and I don't have any of my mods in the audience just yet, sweetie. Little movie perp. If you would like to do a live stream of your own, darling, you can do that. You don't have to be here. I'm talking about my experience with the movie, not yours. So take off, and we'll see you. We'll see you a little later, okay? There. And that's how you get rid of a troll who's going to derail your. That's another master class. That one was for free. Okay. So we have Manitas, who is the gangster in question. He is going to transition into Emilia. So at first, as I was watching this movie, I was thinking, is Manitas only doing this because he wants out the game and then he wants to become Emilia, and so that he can, escape this life? And in essence, it's probably just a little bit, maybe a little bit right, but it's not the only reason. Manitas truly wanted to transition from male to female. Now, if you ask some members of the trans community, this was a damaging portrayal of the character. I'm not in the trans community, so I am not going to Bougie Barbie, you crazy. So I can't speak completely. I do have some quotes from the trans community later on. Yeah, Bougie Barbie, you would think that person was like the director. I'm like, girl, Karla Sofia Gascon, was that you? It's got to be you. So Manitas transitions to Emilia, and then this is where the movie kind of takes off, if you call it taking off. I did not enjoy this movie, not at all, not in the least. So step 2 of this movie, though, because I'm not, I've told you how I felt about the movie. I don't feel like it deserved to be here. I thought the movie's musical numbers were mostly forgettable. And I thought it took a premise of a story that could have been very interesting and just made it convoluted for no particular reason, except for to get Academy Award attention. And it got a ton of attention. This movie was a underdog, to say the least. And then people started picking it up. You started hearing about it in these award circuits. So we achieved getting a ton of attention by casting Zoe Saldana and Selena Gomez. Those are two well-known, big name Latina artists, Latina actors. So it's great to have them in your movie. Make the plot absolutely bonkers. It was well done. That part, if this was just a movie without the musical and they put some great dialogue in here, the premise would have been great. Who would have expected that you have a cartel leader who wants to transition? Then, upon transitioning, this cartel leader decides that they are going to be the hero that Mexico needed. Who would have thought of this? Well, Jacques Audiard. Jacques Audiard is the director, and he's what he calls himself, a renegade director. But we also, one of the biggest parts of achieving the get a lot of attention is cast a relatively unknown trans actress, and that trans actress has to be trans. That becomes very important later on in our steps. And don't vet her background. Again, I keep telling you, that's really important. You cannot vet her background. uh, double points in getting a lot of attention if you can get Zoe Saldana to do this is a different musical number where at a point in the number, Zoe Saldana grabs a plug of hair out of somebody's head and rubs it on her crotch while she's singing. Now, Zoe Saldana did a great job. With what they were given, all of these actors did a great job. So it's not the acting that's the problem in the movie. It's the movie existing itself in the way that it is presented to us. It is the existence of this movie all by its lonesome. That is the issue. But to me, this was problematic. Why do we got Zoe Saldana rubbing this weave on her crotch? Why did we have her doing that? There's also a section of the movie where Selena Gomez is kind of like humping the bed. I have less of a problem with Selena Gomez humping the bed as I do with this. And let's talk about Zoe Saldana's character Rita for just a minute while we have her on the screen. Zoe Saldana's character is an attorney, and she's an overlooked attorney. She's really good, but she's put in a position behind a man who is not quite as good as her, but he's her boss. So everything that she does makes him look better in the movie. Now, they also wanted to make Zoe Saldana kind of unattractive and frumpy in the movie. Now, there's not a lot you're going to be able to do to make Zoe Saldana unattractive. She's a beautiful woman. So without using prosthetics, you're not going to make her unattractive. The film did this by just giving her really harsh eyebrows. Like, it was Zoe Saldana without makeup and really harsh eyebrows. And I'm like, how is that making her unattractive? We can still see this is clearly a beautiful woman. She just needs her eyebrows arched. She needs to go to an esthetician. That's it, So anyway, she got on because she was the attorney who helped Emilia Perez get the information and to get the gender affirming care that she needed to become Emilia. So Emilia, Manitas at that time, paid her very well for that help. And then all of a sudden, you get Zoe Saldana with her eyebrows arched. She's beautiful for the rest of the movie. Step 3, somehow you're going to win a lot of awards, especially our unknown and unvetted actress. We want to make sure that this thing wins everything. And it won a lot. It won a lot. We got this is just a few. I didn't put everything that the entire ensemble won or that each individual in the ensemble won because I'm putting my focus on our totally unvetted and unknown lead. Because yes, Karla Sofia Gascon is known in Brazilian circuits. She's known in Spanish TV. But as far as a wide release movie, global release film, this is kind of like her coming out party as far as an actress. And she made big waves. She won the Game Changer Award. She won at Cannes. She won the Best Actress Award. The Capri Hollywood International Film Festival, Best Ensemble Cast, European Film Awards, Best European Actress, the Asia Global Film and Music Festival, Breakout Artist of the Year. You see it. That's her resume right now. You can add, I think they won something for the Critics' Choice Awards that just recently happened. But Karla Sofia Gascon, as the lead actress in this movie, was winning. The movie was winning. And I still, and I'm not being funny, I still don't get it. I don't, maybe a lot of what this movie was trying to get across went over my head. But I can say that the performances from the actors was not bad. It was the way the movie was written and the fact that it was a musical and the subject matter should have been handled a little more delicately. We'll get to that a little bit later. So we see everything is going just the way that Karla Sofia Gascon would want it to go, the way Netflix would want it to go, the way the ensemble cast would want it to go. Then the Academy Awards came a knocking. We got this movie broke Academy Awards nomination records for a non-English film. No other non-English film has been nominated for more Academy Awards than Emilia Perez. Emilia Perez should have been a shoo-in. Should have been a shoo-in. We had 13 nominations for this movie. I didn't put all the nominations. I put the big ones: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress, Best Song, not for La Vaginoplastia, not for that, and Best Editing. These are huge awards. And if they won half of these awards, you're coming home with like 6, 7 Academy Awards. So our best supporting actress was supposed to be for Zoe Saldana, who has been in Hollywood, been in movies for literal decades. We're not used to seeing her in something like this. This was completely different from her. We got a Zoe Saldana without a gun in her hand, right? We got a Zoe Saldana in her own beauty, not being blue, not being green, being Latina, Zoe Saldana. And she has been nominated for Best Supporting Actress. This was huge for more than just Karla Sofia Gascon. But it's still, she was the star of the show. She was the big story because she's, number one, she's the first openly trans actress to be nominated for Best Actress. We've seen other actors and actresses be nominated and then transition. Elliot Page comes to mind. But this was the first time somebody who was out was nominated for Best Actress. This was supposed to be her year. So, step 5 says, let the games begin. And the games ain't fun, y'all. It's not fun. Our next thing is calling Mexican Spanish the language of the poor. So that's right. This is how you start the spiral downwards. And this wasn't even Karla Gascon. This was the director, Jacques Audiard, in an interview in France. He called Spanish the language of the poor and for migrants. So first insult to Mexico directly from the director. So you continue to insult the Mexican acting community by saying that you cast literally no Mexican actors except for Adriana Paz. So you can see her. Adriana Paz is somebody who we're all familiar with. She was the only Mexican lead. You know, Selena Gomez kind of is iffy because she's a Mexican American. She was born in America. But as far as and the reason why he said there were no other Mexican actors is because he could not find any who were good enough in the movie. Even could have so was it Karla Sofia Gascon is Spanish. She's not Mexican. Then there were people who says, hey, what this movie did has misrepresented the trans community. And one of the ways that I have seen is that it takes a person who was a horrible person. Manitas was not a great person, but they wanted to transition. And then all of a sudden, they transition and they become this virtue signal, this symbol of virtue after living a horrible life. You know, what you want to get across to a lot of people is you are who you are. You are who you are. So when Emilia was Manitas and that individual was violent and was out ordering hits on people and selling drugs and all of that, that person is still the same person as Emilia Perez. Emilia Perez now is just somebody who can look and say, okay, now my outside matches my inside. It doesn't change. It doesn't make you all of a sudden a good person. And we're going to find out that this is the case. Because remember, It was very important that we had this trans actress, because this trans actress kind of let down the trans community. Not only the trans community, but it let down the community of people who are marginalized. But we haven't gotten there yet. Make sure we do not vet this lead actress. Now we've had so many people who had an opportunity to vet Karla Sofia Gascon to see exactly what she was about, because she's relatively unknown. We know Zoe Saldana, we know Selena Gomez, we know anything problematic that have come up in the past, we know about them. We know nothing about Karla Sofia Gascon. The director didn't vet her. The when Netflix bought the movie to distribute it, the Netflix didn't vet this lady, and then the Academy Awards did not vet this woman before they threw all these accolades at her. And I think a lot of that is because she's trans, but that's just my opinion. So people from the trans community went on and said they poked holes in this film. Glad, who is like the biggest support of the trans or of the LGBTQ community, they passed over Emilia Perez in its awards, and they said the LGBTQ Rights Alliance declared the movie a profoundly retrograde portrayal of a trans woman and a step backwards for trans representation. I didn't say that. I can't speak for the trans community. They said that. And they are the spokespeople that you look for in the trans community in film. They also said internationally its representation of trans experiences has been criticized. Though well acted, it is thoughtless. The luxurious life Emilia lives as a trans woman is far detached from reality of most trans people in Mexico, where the average life expectancy for a trans person is 35. Now, is it so bad that they showed a different portrayal of a trans person, a person who was living this life of luxury? That's arguable. It's just like showing black people in the 60s being affluent. Sometimes people say that's not realistic, but it was realistic for some people. But I can't say I was hurt or not hurt by this because I'm not trans. The trans community internationally has spoken some opposition. Now, there have been some people also in support of the film, but this is not how to build this film up. We're talking about how to destroy a film in these steps, right? Okay, so then also the Mexican community, they felt like shots were fired. And we got a Mexican screenwriter, Hector Guillen, says their way of making the film is to disregard so many in the industry in Mexico already talking about this topic, like not considering Mexican screenwriters or more Mexican actors other than Adriana, who did an amazing job. He also cites it was really painful that the film's Mexico-born casting director said that they searched Latin America and Mexico for actors, but ultimately believed that they had chosen the best ones for the job. Having a few Mexicans in there does not stop it from being a Eurocentric production. Hey there, Clarence. Also, the Mexican screenwriter also talked about the drug war, where there has been nearly 500,000 deaths since 2006. 100,000 people disappeared in the country in between 2006 and today. He said we are still immersed in the violence in some areas. So he says that they took one of the most difficult topics in the country and then made it an opera. That to them is disrespectful. I can't speak for the Mexican community, but these are people who can. It's a musical. So, going back to Hector Guillen's quote, so for us and many activists, it's like you're playing with one of the biggest wars in the country since the revolution. And part of the plot is about searching mothers of the disappeared, searching for their children, one of the most vulnerable groups in Mexico. And there were and there were zero words in the four Globe acceptance speeches to the victims. So imagine somebody talking about let's China. Let's just say China makes a movie about 9/11. They make it a musical and they don't cast any American actors in it. We gonna feel some type of way. Well, that's how they feel. And then if China goes on to win a shit ton of awards, China is going to say nothing about the true victims of that tragedy. We would feel some type of way. Okay, going back to Elisa Pete from the conversation, she makes the point, considering its direction, Emilia Perez takes on a white savior narrative because you have a light complected Spanish woman who has went from being one of the causes of all of this pain in Mexico to now being looked at uh, as one of the saviors of Mexico. Um, Okay, so Sandra Rodriguez is in the comments. Sandra said, as a Mexican person, from the very start, I found Emilia Perez naive, racist, and insulting. It's crazy that people abroad have described it as progressive or nuanced. I agree with you as far as from what I could see. As a little black woman in Houston, Texas, all I saw was a parody of this big war, or I won't call it a war. I didn't call it a war, but I see that Mexicans are calling it a war. What I called it was this is a tragedy, and they are singing and dancing about it. Okay, so going back to this quote. Thank you, Sandra, for that. Um, Audiard's lack of serious thought given to violence, wealth, and power in this context is laughable. Ask searcher groups who go looking for the remains of their disappeared loved ones, like Los Rastreadores de El Fuerte. I'm sorry for butchering that. To conjure up money for their work at a fancy gala. And watch I Called for You in Silence, a heartbreaking documentary on their struggles. See what the reaction is. Emilia Perez had the chance to add some nuance to the violence in Mexico today to demonstrate that this does not exist in a vacuum. It had a chance to go beyond what the trans feminist philosopher Sayek Valencia and the expert in feminist visual culture, Sonia Herrera Sanchez, would term a kind of sensationalist, colonialist porno misery to present gender fluidity and sexuality in a troubled and troubling context. That word porno misery, it makes me think of in our culture, black culture, what we see is trauma porn. That's what we call it. So it's trauma porn because when a movie with a mostly black cast blows up, most of the time it's because we are being so downtrodden, or we are being the men and the women can't have a meeting of the minds, or it's drug related, or it's murder related, or people like to see black people suffer. That's just it. The movie blows the fuck up if you have black people suffering. And I think it's the same with Mexican movies in Western society. In Western society, it's so hard to see Mexicans or it's so hard to see minorities doing well. We got to throw some trauma in there. We want people hurt. We want people to yeah, we can't see them doing well. We want people to keep these people impoverished and in complete trauma. We want to continue to reverberate that message throughout all of media that number one, these people Yeah, they like trauma. They flourish in trauma. And then the black audiences feels the same way. The black audience will watch uh Menace to Society and relate to it. Why can't we relate to other things? So I'm going off. Boo! I went to a whole different direction, but I understand that part. I understand that part of how the Mexican community would feel. Um, Tragedy, the word that came to mind. Yes, Clarence, it says, "Isn't this Oscar nominated 13 times, baby?" And for Best Picture, but it's almost a shoe in that it's not going to win Best Picture, but we'll get to that. We're going to put a nail in the coffin. So I told you we was going to do it in 5 steps. This is really the 6th step because we need the lead actress to say, "No, you're not doing enough to destroy this movie. Now I am going to freaking destroy it. I'm going to self-sabotage this entire movie and I'm going to make myself the victim while I do it." And it's a timeline because she did a lot. She did a lot. Karla Sofia Gascon is the lead in this movie. On January 23rd, she made history as the first ever openly trans individual nominated for an Academy Award in an acting category. So, bravo, bravo. 1 week later, Gascon had to clarify some comments that she made about fellow contenders tearing her down. Now, the fellow contender that she was talking about was Fernanda Torres. So she said that Fernanda Torres and her team had been orchestrating a smear campaign against her. Now, quoting Gascon, she said, "I have never at any point said anything bad about Fernanda Torres or her movie. The movie is I'm Still Here." I talked about that in one of my videos. That's another one I want to see. It's about a Brazilian woman who is searching for her husband during the time where Brazil was ruled by a dictator. So anyway, um, Gascon went on to say, "However, there are people working with Fernanda Torres tearing me and Emilia Perez down. That speaks more about their movie than mine." Now, if you didn't know, it is it's not just looked down upon, it is against the rules for one actor that is nominated for Best Picture to try to slander, or I won't even call it slander, to take shots at another actor or their movie while these people are nominated before the Oscars. It's against the rules. So Karla Sofia Gascon must have got a little whisper in her ear. "You can't do that shit. You can't talk about this woman who just talked good about you, by the way." She Fernanda Torres had just said that she was that Karla Gascon was a pleasant person, and she big up Karla Gascon. And then a couple days later, here we got Karla Gascon talking shit about Fernanda Torres. But she's one of those people who will throw a rock and hide her hands. Because after she said that, after this quote, she later said, "Oh, my comments were taken out of context. I wasn't attacking Torres. I was talking about the toxic and violent hate that I'm getting on social media." And look, I truly believe that she is getting hate on social media. I believe that she is because social media, people go people. She's trans. She's getting a lot of attention. A lot of transphobes are going to, now that you are on their radar, they're coming for you, right? So I believe that she was getting bad messages and people were saying horrible things to her. But we're going to find out that she ain't quite as innocent as she is letting on. So on January 30th, Gascon clarified her comments about her fellow contenders' team tearing her down. And that same day, Gascon began to receive backlash over resurfaced tweets. There is always a freaking tweet. So if we start to blow up, y'all, make sure that you go back and let's look. Just take a quick look at some of the shit you might have said 10 or 20 years ago. But in Karla Gascon's case, this was less than 5 years ago. So in essence, I'm 52, Karla Gascon is 52. What I said 5 years ago, yes, I might be able to say, you know what, I was misinformed or whatever, but that's how you really felt. This wasn't I was young and I learned better and all of this. This is how you really effing felt because you just said this ish 5 years ago. It's been less than 5 years for most of these quotes. So let's just get into one of the ways that Karla Gascon hurt this movie's acting chances, or I'm sorry, Oscar chances with one of her tweets. Just one. We're going to talk about the others, but this one was on the Academy Awards radar because she said after the Oscars in 2021, Gascon complained in a post, more and more the Oscars are looking like a ceremony for independent and protest films. I didn't know if I was watching an Afro-Korean festival, a Black Lives Matter demonstration, or the 8M Women's March. Apart from that, an ugly, ugly gala. Now, if you don't remember, in 2021, remember Daniel Kaluuya? I don't know if I'm saying this right. Y'all know who Daniel Kaluuya is. He was he won for Get Out. Remember? So that year, that's the year she's talking about. It looks like a Black Lives Matter movement. So the Academy Awards now is paying attention to Karla Sofia Gascon. And look, when you got an actor who you have never seen before, as far as being nominated, you would think that they would look into this. But again, I got to take it all the way back to the director. The director should have looked into this shit. And if you still wanted to cast this relatively unknown actress, you could have purged her social media. It's not going to change the fact that she's a horrible ass person. And I'm saying she's a horrible person because this is a person who is in a marginalized community. And she is shit talking marginalized communities. If you think it's just stopping at the Blacks and the Koreans, oh, no. She got more. She's got more. I'm going to see if there's any comments here. Clarence says, I think Crazy Rich Asians was an acceptance on tone and actually winning awards. Yeah, an exception. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch Crazy Rich Asians because I'd be so crazy. My glasses. If I can't read the freaking what do you call it, captions, I don't watch movies. No, yeah, I think that one was in English though. Bougie Barbie said, "Yeah, you ain't changed that much in 5 years." Nope, it ain't. It's a difference between from say 16 to 21. You changed a lot in those 5 years, right? And it's a difference even in between maybe 25 and 30. You can change a lot in those 5 years. Once we are fully baked at 50 something years old. I'm fully baked, baby. Now I might say some shit that I might have to apologize for, but it ain't gonna be anything like what we see Karla Gascon says. Now Karla Gascon, the day after all of this came out, she issued an apology to those I caused pain. And I think this is like a non-apology apology. The reason why I feel that way is because she didn't say, I'm sorry for saying this. I was wrong in my thinking. I'm sorry to those I have caused pain. If you feel pain, I'm sorry. If, other than that, I ain't sorry. That's the way I feel about this apology. She gave several non-apology apologies. Several. But, it starts to break down. You start to see the tears when you realize that the shit that you said is coming back and is biting you in your rump. Now all of a sudden you got little tears in your eyes. She went on this whole self-sabotage campaign because she could not shut up. She couldn't issue a real apology and she could not shut up. She talked and talked and talked. So on January 31st, same day, Gascon deleted her ex account and says she's been threatened with death. So, censoring myself now. I've been threatened with death because of the things that I said. I'm censoring myself. I'm making myself the victim. That is the card Karla Gascon decided to play when she got herself in this mess. So on February 1st, Zoe Saldana broke her silence over the scandal. She said she was saddened. She said this took her by complete surprise because this was not the experience that she had with Karla Gascon on set. She would have never known that she had these thoughts. Now, I haven't heard anything from Selena Gomez because I don't have the tweet, but days before they started shooting Emilia Perez, Karla Gascon was shit talking Selena Gomez. Yes, she was. So she shot fire. I mean, she fired shots at people in her own cast. But okay. On February 3rd, because the spiral continued, Gascon breaks down in tears during a CNN interview as she claims, "I'm not racist." Now, we're going to look at this, "I'm not racist," and we're going to go over some of her tweets in just a minute. But she said, "They want to subject me to cancel culture. I asked the Hollywood experts, the journalists who know me and have followed my career, how can I move forward? Baby, you can't. You can't move forward because you hurt way too many people." Now, she also said, well, Netflix distanced itself from Gascon, removed her, scrubbed her from this complete Oscar campaign. If you go and look at stuff that has been put out about the Oscar chances of Emilia Perez, you will see no mention at all of Karla Sofia Gascon. They actually censored Zoe Saldana as the lead here. Let me see. There was something else that she said that kind of jumped out at me, and I'm trying to see if I put it down. Nope, I didn't. But yeah, I didn't save the other quote. Sorry about that. But so Emilia Perez director Jacques Audiard. Remember, I already told you his shit is stinky too. He definitely has put his foot in his mouth during this Oscars campaign. Now he's condemning Karla Gascon. He condemned her hateful and inexcusable tweets. Later in your 40s or 50s, that's all you. That's who you are, baby. That's who you are. So, how can I move forward? You can't move forward, darling. You can't move forward. Then now we see her in full-blown tears. She says she will not step down because now Netflix is like, we're not paying for your travel to any events. So if you show up at an event, it's going to be at your own expense. Basically saying you are on your own. You're on an island now, Karla Sofia Gascon, because you are hurting the chances of everybody else because of your foolishness. We got around the stuff that Jacques Audiard said. We got around the Mexican community. We got around the stuff that other stuff that you said, but we can't get around this. Hey, Geek Filter, sad island. You are 100% right. Okay, so one of her quotes from CNN in Espanol, she said, "I cannot step down from an Oscar nomination because I have not committed any crime, nor have I harmed anyone." This is after the non-apology apology that we talked about a little while ago. This is how I know that apology was not sincere. She still believes that she hasn't harmed anyone. She said, "I believe I have been judged. I have been convicted and sacrificed and crucified and stoned without a trial and without the option to defend myself. Now, look, if you ask me, part of her problem is that she's been defending herself too much. She's been defending herself. Your defense is just terrible, boo. You are defending yourself, but you are using all of the wrong weapons to defend yourself. Humility is the best weapon in this case to defend yourself with. You need to say sorry. You're a Academy Award nominated actress. You need to say sorry and be convincing, but you can't do it now because right here you really believe that you haven't harmed anyone. So let's see. Let's see, would you be harmed if you were part of these communities? Now, we've already talked about her saying that shit that she said about the Academy Awards of 2021 looking like a Black Lives Matter and an Afro-Korean festival and yada yada. We've already gotten past that. So that was horrible. And that was a shot fired at the Oscars. So the Oscars are probably feeling some type of way themselves. We got more. We've got more. Now, some of these were in Spanish, but they were translated. And this particular tweet, she said, I truly believe that very few people ever cared about George Floyd, a drug addict and a hustler. But his death has served to highlight once again that there are those who still consider Black people to be monkeys without rights and those who consider the police to be murderers. All wrong. So you can mistakenly say, you know what, she wasn't saying anything bad. But you just reduced this man, George Floyd, who I didn't know. You reduced him to a drug addict and a hustler based on what? I don't know. And you also said that, hey, the police can be murderers and the Black people might be monkeys without rights in other people's eyes. Both of those are wrong. So, but you invoke the name of George Floyd in 2021. It's almost like you're courting controversy. Oh, and I got to go over here because I can't see these. Gosh darn it. Let me pull up my translations. Make sure I have my translations here. There was another time she says, I'm sorry. Is it just me? Or are there more and more Muslims in Spain? Every time I go to pick up my daughters from school, I have. Wait a minute. I can't see it. Wait a minute. Okay. She said, is it? Every time I go pick up my daughter from school, there are more women with their hair covered and long skirts down to their ankles. At this rate, next year, instead of English, we'll be having to learn Arabic and sacrifice a lamb. So that I'm guessing that don't harm anybody. I'm guessing that doesn't harm anybody. Then she said, I really think that very few people. Oh no, we talked about the George Floyd one. Okay. She said, how many times has history shown that when Moors ruled Spain, women were given status equal to that of a slave? But no, we must continue exalting freedom and individual rights. This is what there is. She also said, when I was little, they told me that respect was to be earned. Now respect is demanded without deserving it, simply because someone considers themselves different. Now, look, when you are a transgender actress, you have felt the burn of being quote unquote different. So why would you say this? These are some questionable things. She also said the Chinese vaccine, apart from the mandatory chip, comes with 2 spring rolls, a waving cat, 2 plastic flowers, a collapsible lantern, 3 phone lines, and €1 for your first controlled purchase. I think those are very hurtful things that she says. I think they're bad. And I don't think that it's cute or funny that she's saying this shit. The Chinese vaccine comes with 2 spring rolls, a waving cat, 2 plastic flowers. Are you serious? She's nuts. Let's see. Clarence says Disney got rid of Gina Carano for a whole lot less. Exactly. Exactly. And again, I still don't agree with that. Gina Carano does not have to politically line up with me. Can she play a role? And can she and is she delivering on the expectation for that role? Yes. Okay. She don't have to agree with me politically because we won't have anybody if we don't if we won't have any entertainment if everybody has to align politically. But you do have to have some kind of moral compass. And it really seems like this lady, the shit that she's saying is not political, it's racist. It's racist. Hyperbolic much? She needs to go on an apology tour. That's just to start. Yeah. I don't think she's ever going to be in another huge movie though. I think she's blown it. Oh my Karla. It's a wrap at this point. Now you're starting to see, yeah, it's over for Karla. Geek Filter says you can also compare an actress to a hustler. So yeah, there you have it. Geek Filter, yeah, this woman is bonkers. She definitely is bonkers. Definitely is bonkers. And again, not even 5 years ago, technically, this is how she felt. She's 52 years old, so it's not like this is a kid making these comments. This is a grown ass woman saying what she said and saying it with her whole chest. And now that it's all coming back to bite her in her butt, now she's in tears on CNN and making things worse because Netflix did not tell her to go on CNN in Espanol. They did not tell her to do that. She did that on her own and really made things worse because once you start going into I'm being crucified and stoned and all of this stuff, but you cannot see what you might have done or said to make all of this shit happen. She still doesn't think it. She thinks that she's being canceled, not because of anything that she did. At first, when people were coming for her just for being trans, I'm on your side, baby. I'm on your side because I'm part of a marginalized community. And if I look down on you and your marginalization, guess what? They're coming back for me. So, yes, I want you to have every right that I have. And I want you to be able to live in emotional and physical freedom. If that means getting you transitioning and getting gender affirming care, so be it. I'm for your rights. But then you say, then I start seeing how you really feel about me. And I'm like, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Geek Filter says, as a 54-year-old, I can pretty much say my personality is fairly well cemented. Not that I can't grow, right? But I'm not going to radically be different. And I don't think, yeah, you're not going to be radically different moving forward, right? We're who we are almost. Some people still have a little growing to do. But some of us, it's like if we have not accepted other people for the differences that we have yet, then you just ain't gonna do it. And you have to live basically in the bubble that you create. Now, some people find a bubble and there's a beautiful echo chamber where they can say all the racist and sexist and homophobic and everything. They can live like that in their bubble because they never have to come out of that bubble. But when Karla decided that she was coming out of her bubble, now all of a sudden, these words, they didn't mean what I said. I didn't mean it like that. Yeah, when you were in your echo chamber, it was all good. Nobody was telling you how foolish you sounded. But now outside the echo chamber, you're starting to realize that the real world does not feel like this, nor will we accept it. Nor will we accept it. So, oh, there was one more. Oh, she's deeply sorry. She's deeply sorry. Now, again, all these tweets, she's deeply sorry. What are you sorry for, Karla? Are you sorry for saying this shit? Or are you sorry for getting caught? Are you sorry? Because I didn't even talk about the fact, okay, it was a Christopher Columbus statue in Chicago. It was taken down a week after protesters attempted to remove it. And her response to that was, these effing morons, children of slaves, of immigrants, of tribal murderers, are ignorant of history. They throw stones at the statue of a man who was looking for a route to the Indies, guilty only of the fact that these people were born there. These are her words. She's deeply sorry, but sorry ain't enough sometimes. Sorry is not enough. Silence would have been her best play. Lay low. Exactly. As a matter of fact, just wait until Netflix gives you your talking points. Even though many of us would have known that, yes, they're not genuine. This is a Netflix statement, and she's going to read or recite, and but it could have smoothed things over. For instance, and you can say she could have said whatever Netflix gave her, and it still could have been misinterpreted by the rest of the world. But when it's looked at under a microscope, like we're looking at all of this stuff, we'll be like, well, she hit all the points. It's kind of like, it makes me think of what's going on with Anthony Mackie on his Captain America. This is a segue onto something entirely different. But Anthony Mackie made a statement on this Captain America Brave New World tour, and people really was pissed off. He said Captain America, something to the effect of Captain America doesn't just represent America, and that we shouldn't call him Captain America, or something to that effect. And people got all up in their ass about that, until you pull a quote from Chris Evans, who said the exact same thing, different inflections, because Chris Evans and Sam Mackie are two different people. I call that man Sam Mackie. Anthony Mackie are two different people. So of course you're going to give me the same talking points, and I'm going to say it different, and it's going to sound different to people who are looking for something to find wrong with it. Well, that's what happened with, or could have happened with Karla Gascon. She could have waited and got the talking points from Netflix, and she might have said what they told her to say, and it still would have been all effed up. But at least when you look at it under a microscope, you can say, oh, but she did say this, she did say that, and this is a corporate statement, period. Geek Filter said, I doubt she's deeply sorry. She's deeply sorry that she forgot that those tweets existed and that people found them. Yeah, that's what she's sorry about. She's not sorry that she said any of this. Captain America is Marvel's Superman. He grew past the truth of justice in the American way. Exactly. And if he would have said it just like that, but when you say, well, it's not just for America and blah blah blah, when you start putting your own little seasoning on it, people might look at it and say, this right here, this person is anti-American. Where as this person, Karla Sofia Gascon, we're looking at her like, well, she's trans, she understands, and she's really anti so many different things. She's for her rights and her freedoms, but she's anti so many other things. It's just terrible. So, and this was her quote. One of her quotes: I want to acknowledge the conversation around my past social media posts that have caused hurt. As someone in a marginalized community, I know this suffering all too well, and I'm deeply sorry to those I have caused pain. I believe light will always triumph over darkness. I'm not sorry for saying it. I'm in a marginalized community, so that means I can talk shit about other marginalized communities. You know, oh, and I'm not even gonna read this one about she got another one about Muslims, but you can see the things that she says. Um, so Clarence said, did she scrub the tweets or are they still out there? No, she deleted her Twitter or X, whatever we calling it. She deleted it. She deleted it, but it was too late because the screenshots were already saved and the conversation was already started, and now you make your bed, you take a poop in it, you got to lie in it. You got to lie in that bed that you pooped in. It's nobody else's fault. It's your own. Congratulations. You played yourself. You have successfully ruined your chances to win at the Oscars, thereby have destroyed your film. Except for Zoe Saldana. Like I said, I kind of hope she still wins. And she's not the it's not like the Academy Awards this year is going to be without controversy, period. If we just got rid of this, because we talked about Fernanda Torres of the movie, what was the name of the movie? I'm Still Here. Well, people have found pictures of her in blackface. Now, she was doing it for a role in a Brazilian film or show, and it's from decades ago, but she did it. And you know what she did? Owned up to it and apologized. How novel is that? Also, there's this whole AI controversy going on in these Best Picture noms. The Brutalist was found that they used because The Brutalist is about this architect who immigrates from I forgot where to America, and he gets on. He has his own style of architecture. Great. It's about immigration, and it's a beautiful movie. I've heard it's 3.5 hours long. I have not yet seen it. If you've seen it, let me know what you thought about The Brutalist down in the chat. But The Brutalist used AI images for the architecture that was created by this architect, and they also used AI to speak Hungarian in the voices of the actors because they wanted to make sure that they got Hungary, that's where he immigrated from. So they wanted to make sure that they captured the Hungarian language correctly. So they had the actors voice. You know how they do like the Darth Vader, they have saved James Earl Jones' voice so they can make him say all kinds of Darth Vader lines for the forever and ever and ever. Well, they use that same technology to make the voice of these actors say these Hungarian lines to make sure they got it right. And that has become a controversy. So they use AI pictures and then they use AI to deliver a few of the lines in the movie. And people are saying, well, if the AI is delivering the lines, then is this a best actor? The actor who delivered these lines, do they deserve to be nominated if you're using a computer? But it was only like a couple of lines. But anyway, the mud slinging is on and popping. People were saying that Dune uses a lot of AI, and why is Dune nominated? What was the other one? I think it was just those three. The blackface. I mean, that's enough, right? The blackface, Emilia Perez, The Brutalist, and Dune. So honestly, I really don't know what's going to happen. I think The Brutalist was one of the favorites outside of Emilia Perez. Ugh. But one of the favorites to win was The Brutalist, right? So we also have Honora, I don't think there's any controversy surrounding that movie. But yes, just the fact that all of this is happening And the Academy Awards committee is probably throwing its hands up like, what the whole hell? How did we fix this? Let me go up here. Geek Filter said, nothing is gone from the internet once it's been posted. Nothing at all. Clarence wants to know if Will Smith is coming to the Oscars. Probably not. However, another question is Karla Sofia Gascon going to the Oscars? Because again, Netflix has already told her we're not sending for you, baby. The car, we're not picking you up. So if she comes, because she's invited, because she was nominated, if she comes, will that continue to distract from the ceremonies? Because a little tiny part of me would want to be there, but to know that it's going to hurt so many other people. Oh, also, I forgot there was a Zoe Saldana, because people are saying that they don't support Zoe Saldana because she is separating herself from blackness. Zoe Saldana's name is Zoe Saldana. She has an extremely Latina mother. I believe they're Dominican. Just because they're dark does not mean that she has to abandon her Latina part. So if she wants to say I'm Afro Latina, or if she just wants to say I'm Latina, she has the right to do that. But people are in their feelings that she's not just saying she's black. She doesn't have to. Clarence says, I know it takes away jobs, but I kind of feel like they shouldn't be penalized unless it's a real or unless it's a rule of the academy to not to use AI. And where do you draw the line? Because movies are making us see things that aren't there all the time, right? Ain't none of these people been in space, and there's a lot of stuff that is done using CGI, using other technologies. Now, I'm not saying lean heavily and use AI to write a script and then use AI to block your shots and all that. I'm not saying doing all of that. And I guess many people will say that once you use it for one little thing, then you might say I can use it for another little thing. But I think that we know the difference between using it as a tool and using it as a whole crutch. And yeah, the tool to me is just another piece in your toolbox. And if you are not a good filmmaker, you're not going to know how to use this, or use it in an effective way. Geek Filter said, I still wish they would do that with Majel Barrett. She left them express permission. I want my Trek computer. That to me is a good use of it. It's the same thing that we're doing, you did it with James Earl Jones. Now, she left permission. That means she wants her voice to live on in perpetuity. I can understand if the actor said, I am not interested in my voice continuing to live on. Yeah, I would like to see Majel Barrett's voice continue as the computer as well. She was the best. Yeah. Clarence said. And then Bougie says, do you think she should go or should not? No, she should stay as far away as she should stay as far away as possible. But do I think that she's just narcissistic enough to go? From everything that we've read, and I am not a therapist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist, I can't truly say this person is a narcissist. But it looks like this lady thinks so highly of herself that she will go to the Academy Awards and she will, make it about herself, make that moment about herself instead of about the film, because she wasn't going to win. Now, part of me says they wanted this to be the era of where they'll give a trans actress the Academy Award. But then Demi Moore is existing, right? And Demi Moore has, as far as I know, I just got a movie where I can watch her in The Substance. I'm scared to watch it because I hear that it's pretty disgusting. But as long as Demi Moore exists, I think this is her year, you know, and I think that it was just the Academy Award was like, this is the time to do it. It's not going to happen again no time soon. As far as a trans actress, she would have to put on one hell of a performance, because now, you know, you guys know the situation that the US is in, where they are not looking too kindly on anything that's not white, male, heterosexual. They're not looking kindly on anything else. So I think this was like the moment, and she blew her freaking moment. Oh, Clarence said, I think she should still go. This is as famous as she's going to be infamous. Oh, gosh. Oh, Geek Filter says CGI and AI are two very different things. As a graphic designer, I'm against scraping other people's work and using it. Okay, I get what you're saying. But for my work, I will sometimes extend a photo using generative fill. So I think that's a perfectly fine way to use that. It's just expanding my own work, not creating it. I get it. I get it. And see, this is like me going back to the beginning of my talk here. I can't speak for the trans community. I can't speak for the Mexican community. And I can't speak for the graphic design community because I don't know enough. But you do. And I am taking what you say. And I'm like, okay, forgive me for saying CGI and AI. Hey there, Justin. Good to see you. And you come in almost at the tail end of things. Um, yeah, I don't think she should go, because if she goes, she's making this far more about herself than about that movie. And um, if she if she doesn't go, you know, it's a once in a lifetime thing for her. Like Clarence said, this is it for her probably. Um, you know, there is a ability to be redeemed by anybody. She would have to first, though, admit that she was that she hurt people and that she's sorry for it. And she's deeply sorry, but she's never said, like, put it all together, say it with your chest. I'm deeply sorry about the insensitive comments that I made. I have been doing this, and this to get better, or just to see other people's point of view or whatever. She can say whatever. And again, I do believe that Netflix would have rolled out something really nice for her to say if she would have just waited. But instead, she continuously just kept going out, putting her foot further and further in her mouth. She did way too much, y'all. And I don't know if she can be redeemed at this point in Western movies. You know, um, Bougie said, I made a whole comment. I can't remember about what I think she should do if she goes. And if she goes, the commercials erased your comments. It's commercials in here. Anyway, the commercials erased your comments. Um, you had to work today, Justin. Well, I'm glad you stopped by and talked to us. Um, but yeah, you keep getting commercials. I didn't know they put them in the middle of live streams. I'm gonna have to check to make sure that I've got like a setting or something that's not turned right or whatever. Um, but I guess they say you're gonna make some kind of money. We're gonna give you some kind of money, lady, because yeah. Anyway, what was the last thing I was going to say about Emilia Perez? So Emilia Perez again, Zoe Saldana, I think, did a fantastic job, and I really hope that she gets her Academy Award. I really hope so, because looking at that category, it looks like she's the strongest contender in that category. However, the race for best picture and the race for best actress, I really believe is Demi Moore's time, and she's going to get it. But best picture, I don't think Emilia Perez is going to win. So what's her name? Karla Sofia Gascon, her best chance at getting an Oscar would be Best Picture, but I don't think she's gonna get it. I wonder if her comments come from fear about how other people might treat her. So you have to show that you're on the other side. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not 100% sure what you mean there. Is she just like trying to say the most egregious things so that people realize that she's the same as them? Um, she's from this marginalized community. She is trans, but we also see Caitlyn Jenner. Do I have to say more? She's not the best, Yeah. I guess it is okay if you get paid for it. Yeah, I'm gonna get something. We gonna see how much. I don't know. You didn't know that Zoe sings? Um, um, she does. I don't think it was like the best. So she's not Cynthia Erivo. You're not getting that. Were you here for the lyrics to the song and me fighting with the lady? It was some lady here who I blocked her because she was just like talking too much. And one of my faults, my flaws, is when people want it with me. I like to give it. I like to give it to them. So I was about to sit here and argue with this person, and I was like, oh, I could just block them because I didn't have any of my mods here. So I was like, I ain't got no mods in the audience. I went ahead on and finally just blocked that person because y'all know. Who do I think for best actor? Honestly, I saw Conclave. So right now, Conclave and Emilia Perez are the only two Oscar-nominated films that I have seen. And I like Ralph Fiennes in Conclave. Oh my goodness, Conclave was such a good movie. And I'm going to watch a couple of these other films so that I can have more like, am I just saying it because I only saw this movie or what? But I want to see what other actors, what they have brought to the best acting category. But right now, I'm liking Ralph Fiennes. I really am. You say you'd prefer not to see Caitlyn Jenner at all, thanks. And look, if you watch Emilia Perez, this is the song that really it took me out. It took me out. The words of the song, and this lady, the person I was arguing with earlier, she kind of got upset with me because I was talking about this song, and I'm like, look, if you speak Spanish, this song might have hit differently, right? Because they sung some of it in Spanish. The name of the song is La Vaginoplastia, and it is when Rita, Zoe Saldana's character, goes overseas trying to help Emilia get gender affirming care. So she's being the middle person, and she goes over there, and they singing this song about just from penis to vagina. Is it for you? No, not for me. And it was the most horrible song. So again, Zoe Saldana is not a singer. She's an actress. She's a hell of an actress, but she is just an actress. You don't put her in a musical and then have her carry this song, even though one of the songs that she's singing is nominated for best song. I think it's El Mal. It's nominated, but should it be? That's a whole different question. And oh, by the way, if you're here, please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you've not yet done so. I appreciate for having you all in the chat with me today. Because I'm about to be in a minute. But if she wins best song, one thing's for sure, they're not going to have her sing that song live on the Oscars. At least I don't think they will. So that is going to be a big, because I don't think she has the voice for that. Oh, Clarence, you started Conclave. Please finish it. Let me know what you think of it. I really enjoyed that movie. Uh, Justice said Ralph is long overdue for an Oscar. He is, and I hope he showed up and showed out for Conclave. So I enjoyed the movie, and I hope he gets it. Brody was good, great. You saw The Brutalist, Justin. I've heard that Adrian Brody was fantastic in that movie. 3.5 hour movie. I don't know. Could they have made it a little shorter? Or was the 3 hours necessary? Because sometimes 3 hours is necessary to tell the story that you're trying to get across. You need every minute of that 3 hours. But if there's fluff in this movie, it's nominated for Best Picture. Again, and I think it's still only at theaters here. And y'all know I'm not leaving out to go, especially now, I'm not leaving out to go to no movies. So we shall see. We shall see. I kind of want to see Timothy Chalamet get it as well, just for the history. Young man, already been nominated twice. 2 of his movies are nominated for Best Picture. Timothy Chalamet, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and he asked me if an actor from today would be a part of like the Brat Pack, or the Brat Pack, uh, Brad Pitt, that during that era. It was like, what actors do we have nowadays that can do that? And I'm like, people really sleep on Timothy Chalamet. In fact, he made the stipulation that this actor had to be American. I don't feel like they have to be American. He made it, and I'm like, Timothy Chalamet is like, he's from here. He was, he's French American. So Timothy Chalamet is up and coming. He is who Leonardo DiCaprio once was. As far as like, we watched this person grow up. We started to see them get better roles and exercise their acting chops and become synonymous with cinema. And that is what we're seeing happen with Timothy Chalamet. He's becoming synonymous with cinema. And I think that he is deserving of that. And what would make him solidified in a lot of people's minds is winning one of these Academy Awards that he's been nominated for. Justin said, yes, he liked the Brutalist. It was long, but worth every bit, in his opinion. Geek Filter said it was brutal. He'll be here all week. Clarence says, so does the movie have to be released in the previous year to be eligible? I was hoping the Sonequa Martin Green movie would have gotten nominated, but I think it's only been at festivals. It has only been at festivals. And let me see. What is the window? If somebody knows in the chat, you can put it in there before I find it for Oscar. Okay. Films must submit their Oscar submission. So you have to submit your films. Okay. And films must submit their Oscar submission forms and full screen credits to the Academy by a specific deadline. The deadline depends on the film's theatrical qualifying run. So since Sonequa Martin Green's movie is not coming out, or no, it is out now, right? I did a whole video about when that movie is coming out. I believe it's the end of February, right? So when her movie comes out, there's a period of time after the theatrical run, which means it can be eligible for next year's Academy Awards. For example, in 2023, the deadline for films with a qualifying run between July 1st and December 31st was November 15th. The short list of films is announced in December. Final nominations are announced in January. The eligibility window is a calendar year, January 1st to December 31st. So that movie, and that's one I want to see. That movie could very well, because it got a lot of buzz during the film festival circuit. I would like to see Sonequa Martin Green at least be acknowledged. Now, I haven't seen the movie, so I can't say that she did a fantastic job. I just like Sonequa Martin Green, but you've got the heavy hitters in this movie that can make this thing happen. You got Ed Harris, you got Morgan Freeman. That's already giving this movie your full attention. It's a beautiful premise, and it's already won awards at South by Southwest. So the movie itself has already been vetted as award worthy. Now, when I forgot who it is. Who is it that's putting that movie out? Was it um Lionsgate? I can't remember. But when they say, okay, we're going to go ahead and submit this for Oscars, now that it has had its theatrical run, we can submit it for Academy Awards. Let's do that so that we can see. I can't wait to see. I don't know where I forgot where I was going. I forgot where I was going with that. Justice said, Timothy Chalamet is a pretty good actor. Dune Part 2 was epic. Loved it. Geek Filter said, The Brutalist does sound interesting, and I like architecture. I want to see it. I just want to see it at home. I don't want to go. Y'all know anxiety, and I don't want to go out and sit for almost 4 hours, because I would have to get there a little bit early and then sit through some trailers, and then the movie, and then the intermission, and then the rest of the movie, and that's putting me out the house for 4 or 5 hours. I probably freak out. I don't even know. I'm still wrestling with myself about it. Am I getting out for Captain America? I want to leave the house for Captain America. I am trying to amp myself up, because I should be able to, to do it. It's one of the shortest Marvel movies there is. They said it actually, I think the only movie that they said is shorter than this one is that one of those Ant-Man movies that was really short. So it's not a long movie, which means that, I might be able to make it. But let's see. Justice says Timothy and Jonathan Majors were great in Hostiles with Christian Bale. I believe that was kind of their first big buzz movie, a criminally underrated film. I don't even remember this movie that you're talking about, dear. Now, what was it? What was Timothy Chalamet? When did the Hostiles come out? Let's see what movie you're talking about. I'm thinking of a movie called The King for Timothy Chalamet. So this came out before then. I don't even remember Jonathan Majors being around. You said Jonathan Majors? Yeah, I don't even remember him being around back then, except for in the other movie, in the TV show, that one TV show that they let go of too quick. Yeah, I don't remember this movie. It's a Western, 2017. You would think I would have seen this. Where the hell was I at? And Geek Filter said I'd have to use the bathroom in the middle of that. But they do have an intermission. I think the intermission is maybe 15 minutes long or something in the middle of the movie. And Bougie says, same. I can't wait for Captain America, but I would pay extra just to see it at home. Yeah, I want to sit at home and watch these movies. Thanks, Justin, for that 2017 when that movie came out. Absolutely. Yeah, I want to see the Brutalist. I definitely. I can't go to no movie. I can't. No, because like Geek Filter said, I'll be sitting there with the Depends on, trying to watch that movie. I won't be able to drink nothing or eat nothing because you're sitting there for 4 damn hours. Um, what else? That's it. That's all I got. You guys have anything else in the comments? If you do, please ask your questions, shoot off your concerns, whatever. This has been a very fruitful conversation. Um, Timothy Chalamet is one of my picks, though, for as far as up and coming and who I want to see be the heir apparent of leading man energy in film right now. Um, Speaking of Jonathan Majors, though, that movie Magazine Dreams is finally going to be released. And look, we can argue about Jonathan Majors and how he kind of f things up and crap the bed, but he has laid he shit the bed and he laid all in the shit and he got it all over himself, and now he's washing off. But that is what it takes to me, is to have a redemption period, a period of being down and being quiet. Don't talk too much. Don't say too much. Just keep your head down and you can come back. And I think we are in his comeback period. So yes, Magazine Dreams was getting huge buzz, big buzz before the incident. and and now here we are, the movie is being released. It does not mean that Jonathan Majors is off the hook. He's not going to get nominated for no actor or anything, I don't think. Let me take that back. He might get nominated. He will not win. He will not win. But this does put him back. And there is another film by Denis Villeneuve. His brother is also a filmmaker. And he has got a film, the first film that Jonathan Majors was cast in since this, because Magazine Dreams has been out for a long time. It's just now coming to theaters because of the mess, right? But I'm trying to see which Villeneuve. It's not Denis Villeneuve. It's his brother. And his, whatever the case, his brother has got a film coming out, and it is going to be starring or he will be, Martin Villeneuve is the name. He will have Jonathan Majors in it, and I'm trying to see what the name of that movie is. I'm gonna go over here to IMDb and see what it's gonna tell me about his upcoming movies. But that would be the first movie that Jonathan Majors, Merciless. Let's see if they tell us anything about what it's about. When the woman he loves is overtaken by a malevolent force, a top CIA interrogator is willing to go even darker to defeat it. So that will be the first movie that Jonathan Majors will be in, that will be filmed after all of his incidents. You're my Coretta Scott King. And look, you see how the difference, because now, and I know this is like part of the redemption tour, but Megan Good is embracing that, because what he's saying is, if I'm going to be a great man, I need a great woman. And what greater man in his mind than Dr. Martin Luther King? And what greater woman than his wife? But if you take all of that out of context, it sounds real narcissistic. But I have had a man tell me I'm like his Coretta. And I thought it was too high of a compliment, to be quite honest, because I'm a fucked up person. So, but in his eyes, I was his Coretta. So I don't get the backlash that people gave about that. He'll never outlive that comment. The only reason that it felt a little different is because you're asking this woman, first and foremost, you're not telling her she's your Coretta. You're asking her to be your Coretta. This is number one, a white woman. But okay, aside from all that, I don't care if she's white, black, green. If you gotta ask somebody to be something for you, if you have to pull them into your vision, kicking and screaming, they don't belong there. If they are part of your vision and they are coming along willingly and they are helping you ascend, then that person is supposed to be there. You tried to drag her into your vision, Jonathan. You tried to make her fit, and she didn't fit. You tried to force it. You got to ask somebody to be your Coretta. You're forcing it. Mm. Green? Is she Orion? I don't know. She might have been purple. People eater. Whatever. But to me, in my opinion, I don't care what color, what creed, what nationality, anything. I don't care nothing about that. If a person is for you, they are for you. You cannot make it happen. It just happens. So if I got to keep asking you to do things, guess what? There's somebody out there I'm not gonna have to ask. Um, he does seem to be in a good place now, and that's good. That's what Justin said. Bougie says, for me, it was that she was white. I wonder how it sounded to her if she heard it like we would. And I don't think she did. That's part of the problem. That's why a lot of the stuff that we know about their relationship, she was recording that shit because she was looking at it like he's being controlling and this and this and this. And it's like, to us, and I mean us black folks, it's like passion to us is, and I want you to do this, this, and this. And other people will be like, people have mistaken my passion for aggression. And when I'm super passionate about something and I get loud and animated and yada, 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 there have been people who have gotten intimidated by that because they don't know how to take it. Whereas in a room full of black people, it's like all of us is like that. Oh gosh. Bougie said, I don't think she connected with that statement like we would. No. He would have had to have said something like, I don't even know. I need you to be my Jackie Kennedy Onassis. She might have heard that a little differently. Like, wow, you want me to be all of that for you? You know what I'm saying? It didn't resonate with her. It didn't hit like he thought it was gonna hit with her. Shoot, that got you video recorded and accused of being abusive. Oh, it's not funny. I'm sorry. But okay, so Jonathan Majors, another up and coming, and I hope he can get past all of this stuff so that he can get back on the trajectory that he was on before all of this happened. Okay, so other than that, I don't have nothing else. It's been fun, y'all. It has been fun. Again, on your way out, if you don't mind, if you have not yet done so, subscribe to the channel for more content like this and hang out with me. Okay, Geek Filter. So Jackie Kennedy, smile a lot and put up with his infidelity. Well, I mean, did Coretta do the same? So, I don't. It's Black History Month, and I'm not here to beat up on our black historical icons. That's not my job to do. But there were things that were said about Martin that might have made him look like a less than scrupulous person in that era. But you take that bad part, that flaw, and you weigh it against all of the good. Now, maybe that's something to talk about on another day. Not right now. Not right now. So yeah, it's been fun. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you haven't done so. Tell your friends about this channel. Share the good news or the bad news or the masterclass. Share the masterclass on how to destroy a film in just those 5 easy steps. And I will see everybody in the next one. Peace. Bye.